Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It is Thursday, I believe, and I felt compelled this morning to do a bit of a blog, really, on what's going on with regards to myself and my own experience with mental health. I don't know. We'll think of a name of the channel later. We'll think of a name of this. So I want to do quite frequent updates because I promised myself that after my cousin committed suicide, I've been down that path twice this year, that we're going to talk up about it and not be afraid, not be scared, and fucking shake that stigma off that men can't talk. Because Gareth, God bless you, you could have talked, and who knows, but and in my particular case, first time I didn't, second time I did, and I talked and I sought help. So, a little bit of background. I look groggy this morning because of the meds. And this is quite good. This is actually a good look, believe it or not. Fucking horrendous, I know. Sorry about the language, but that's just me. You've got to put up with it. But, yeah, the meds do make you groggy. But hey, what's better? Feeling groggy the next day? Or walking up and down train tracks crying and screaming? And my mouth continuously dry from the quetiapine. So, bit of background. My mother made multiple attempts at suicide during her 40s and 50s, and that's what killed her. In her 50s was suicide. Organ failure from many attempts. My nan, which my mum's mum, drank herself to death in her 50s as well. And my older brother, God bless his soul, is also struggling very much so with mental health. So, what happens? Ross is born in 1981. And I was born with two issues: a mental health issue and a chronic pain issue. Now, the chronic pain issue we're going to have to park for now because it's too much. We'll park that for now because we deal with that with various other drugs. Pharmaceutical drugs, by the way, not illegal. However, what they think, what the medical professionals think after I was talked off the train track the second time, is that it's probably an environmental stroke genetic thing. So if your mother had bipolar or mild schizophrenia, then the chances are that she had it, her mother had it. It's probably gone down to you and your brother. I said, fine, that's all right, I can accept that. It's not the best of the news, but I'll accept it. Just as I've accepted other things in my past, which has really helped me heal. To be honest, if I accept the fact that I'm powerless over certain things in life, you get on with it better. So we are now after weeks of back and forth to the Heath Hospital, psychiatrists, GPs. We got a appointment about 2 or 3 weeks ago with a great psychiatrist down Barry's hospital, who basically, I think, said I got bipolar. I said, fine, that's cool. Medicate me up. I'm used to medication. My pain condition that I've had since I was 6. And off we go. And I thought it was that easy, but it's not. It's not, because they'll give you, in my particular case, they give me high levels of quetiapine and mirtazapine. Now, the funny thing is, mirtazapine makes you eat like a horse. Now, I've probably put on 1.5 stone, if not 2 stone, in the very short period of time I've had mirtazapine. And quetiapine is the one that's the antipsychotic. It's given to people with schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is the one that slows my mind down from stopping the horrible washing machine, I call them the rapids, of shit that go through your mind about deaths and what could happen to you today, but what basically fucks you up. So I'm grateful for those two drugs. I am grateful, and I said to them, no matter what downsides there are to them, and the downsides are that, yes, I have to feel groggy in the mornings. Yes, I've got to get my shit together. I've got to, even more memory loss and things like that. But you'll take that. You'll take that all day, because the consequences are, if you don't take them, you're going to end up in a psychotic episode, which no one wants. So I guess this is just a real true life clip, like a bit of a blog, or was that what you call them? Blog of that if you're struggling with mental health, right? I didn't understand it as a kid, but I knew my mother suffered with it, and I know my brother did. And I put my head in the sand and thought, fuck it. It ain't going to get me, but it did. And it does, and it has got me. And it probably got me until the end of my life. But don't be afraid to talk about it. Don't be afraid and think I've got to be the tough man and say, look, I can deal with it myself. Because I tell you what, no one can deal with those thoughts themselves. I jumped in the car and I drove up to the train station and was talked off from doing it. And that's with, the focus of my son and my wife in front of me. They're overpowering thoughts, but they're not your thoughts. They're your thoughts of the illness, not yours. So, I was lucky. My wife works in mental health, so she said, you've got to talk, you've got to seek help. So I did that, and I ended up, with a bit of a waiting list or whatnot. But then, as soon as you see a nice psychiatrist who gives you the right medication, and it'll take a while for tweaking it, messing about with it, to get to the right level where you can kind of live life. I wouldn't say peacefully, but you can be, a bit more comfortable with life. Whereas 3 weeks ago, my head was 24/7 spinning of negativity and horrific things. My only way out then was to do the unthinkable. So we're on I think the third week of the medication. I'm still taking quite a lot of diazepam. That's for my pain condition. I still take sleeping medication for my pain, and now I've also been given sleeping medication for the mental health. Now, sleep deprivation, I know a lot of you would know what that is from. I mean, probably not from an illness, but you know what I mean. Sleep deprivation on its own is bad. Now, I struggle with sleep. I have 4 hours tops. And that's with these 2 new meds. Before, I used to get 2 to 3 hours per night. I didn't realise how much of an impact that was having. So I guess my mental health was inevitable. It was going to crumble and fall. But I'm going to leave it there, because I want the key things today is people who are struggling, don't just bottle it up. Shout about it. Shout. Go to your GPs and say to them, look, you've given me 15 different antidepressants, right? You're patching me up and it's not working. I need a referral to a mental health professional. Stage 1. It's the first thing you do. And you don't ask for it, you demand it, right? You don't ask for it, because if I'll be off for sertraline or whatever drugs, you demand that. Second of all, then, you've got to be a little bit patient. Now, in my case, I couldn't be patient, because I'd already made the threats of death to myself, because I've been like it for a while. But they could prioritise your case and get you straight in to see a medical professional who deals solely with mental health. They can assess you. They can they can medicate you to a certain degree at that level and then get you in front of a psychiatrist, which is the ultimate aim. So don't bottle it up. Even if you're too scared to talk to about even with the missus or whatever, speak to family, right? And if you don't want to speak to family because you're a tough guy and you don't want to speak to your missus, go and see your GP. Otherwise, you're in shit street because you ain't beating this alone. I thought I could beat it. I thought myself, if I ever get it, passed down to me from my family, I could do it myself. Could I fuck? No chance. If it wasn't for Becky and it wasn't for Tom, it wasn't for many people, I wouldn't be here today. So, number one, don't be afraid to talk about it, right? Tell anyone, friend, family, doctor. 2, when you get to GPs, don't let them fucking fob you off. Ask for a mental health assessment immediately. And 3, get medicated, right? Now, medication will knock you for 6, like it has with me. But on the same side, that I said to him at the stage, I don't care what the downsides are, because the upsides seem to be within 3 weeks that my mind has stopped like a washing machine full of shit, of death and destruction and horrible thoughts of my son dying and all those things that were 24/7 in my head. They seem to have quietened down. So the meds must work. And again, I have to accept that these meds are going to be for life and they probably have to increase over time. I am eating like I've never eaten before. I believe that's because these medications has now pulled my adrenaline levels down from fight and flight to a peaceful level. Now my body's like, yeah, let's start eating breakfast, let's start eating dinner, let's start eating tea. And as you know, a lot of you guys are friends, I eat through the night constantly. Maybe that's because I'm more relaxed. But so for today, I'm sat in the park. First of all, I am very grateful that I'm not a dead man. That's a big shout out. Second of all, it's not raining. I can go back to the caravan now and see my son, my dog, my missus. And third, I would like to thank Tom for saving my life that night on the train and going to A&E with me. But the key to this fucking 30-minute message is fuck me. Don't be afraid. Fucking talk if your brain is frazzling you. Don't try and be the hard man, because you know what? Suicide in under 40s is mad. It's huge. I didn't realise how big it was. And I wish I'd known now what I knew 6 months ago that might have helped Gareth. Maybe he was gone past the point, but I don't know. I would love to have known. But there's nothing you can do about anything in the past, and there's no point worrying about tomorrow because tomorrow's not coming around. So, as we say in the program that I follow every day, is ODAT, one day at a time. I choose today to not take drugs, to not drink, to take my medication, prescribed medication, to stop my mental health impacting that much that my son would be growing up without a father and my wife wouldn't have a husband. So any questions, please inbox me. And I would, even if we can reach out, and this encourages one person to go and see their GP and be really strict with them and say to them, no, but you're not patching me up with that shit. You ain't sending me back out here, because my chances are I might not come back. Then if we can save one person, right, that is mission complete. But I think if we can talk about it, mental health monkeys, whatever we want to call ourselves, and get everyone just talking, chatting. If you're feeling down, We have the resources and they're around. They're very, 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 what's the word? Thin on the ground when it comes to resource, but it's there. You just need to shout out or put your hand up and say, I can't fucking take it, but I want help. So hit me up. Sorry for the rant. I'm going to try and get myself hydrated a little bit and out of this medical fuzz, which isn't easy, but hey, I'm not dead.